On this week's episode of Three Dad Bods,
How could we make something that would be positive, that would allow people to experience the great things in life that they like to do, find new things that they like to do, and not have to worry about, like, gosh, what are all the other stuff, that negative stuff that comes with social media. And so that's what we set out to do.
Yeah, 100%. You're supporting small. You get to see just how like the locals live. And I always thought that was really cool. And it's really difficult to find that stuff online because I'm sifting through 100 mom blogs that are talking about this is the best cupcake restaurant to take your daughters and all these other things. And it's not applicable to me.
That's not a Three Dad Bods subject, by the way, cupcakes.
Sarcastic, witty, and not afraid to mix it up. Pop open a cold one and welcome to Three Dad Bods.
welcome everybody to another edition of Three Dad Bods with Brent, Carl, and Sean. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good
What's
morning.
everybody doing, man?
I barely got any sleep
in a
because of
bad
those
mood.
stupid football games.
Yeah, it's terrible. Absolutely horrific.
I actually ended the night well. The
That
first
sucks.
half,
That
I fell asleep the first half of the BYU Cincy game. But that second
we
half,
just
they
skip
actually
this?
looked
We
half
don't-
decent. Oh, let's talk about the
I don't wanna
youth.
hear this,
That's
dude.
right. That's right.
Hey,
Do you guys have an offense anymore?
No,
What happened to it?
saying that all night. Wait, no, he's injured on the sideline. He's got a
Sean
cast on
thinks
his
they
leg.
can just. Sean thinks they can just hire a free agent like the NFL, just bring in some quarterback off the street. But yeah, you guys are in trouble, man.
Yeah.
Anybody in the stands last night would have been better than what was out there last night. Hey, it is what it is. It was bound to happen after only one touchdown against UCLA, and it is what it is.
The biggest problem that they got with that new quarterback is, or not new, but Nate Johnson, is that he cannot target anybody. He can't
He doesn't know where anybody
throw
is.
it accurately. There's no accuracy there. It's terrible.
Yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
know where anybody is.
But you have a defense still.
Have a very, very
Wow.
good defense, and they're the only reason why we've been in anything. But onto a better
Probably the
subject.
best in the country.
No, I know on Wednesday I sent you all some clips of this concert I was at called Steve and Sons. Dude, it is honestly, I've been to a lot of concerts. It is one of the top 5 best concerts I've ever been to. It was absolutely amazing. Bluegrass guys from Finland who play covers of 80s heavy metal hits, from Ronnie James Dio to Metallica to Kansas to Boston to, oh man, it was incredible. It's one of the
You
best
know,
nights that we've had. in
The
a long
older
time.
you get, the more every concert you go to is better and better. I'm kind of wondering about that.
The
Is it
ones
your
that I sit
eardrum?
down at are the best. If I just sit the whole time and eat food and drink beer,
Oh, you're
those
getting
are the
old.
those
Yeah,
will
you're
always
getting
be in the
old.
top 5 for me. Always be a top 5 concert for me every single time.
Oh, Sean's geriatric Metallica concert seemed to be the best one he's ever been to, and those guys are like 80, aren't they, Sean?
I don't think they're quite that old, but I honestly, yeah, he's like Hetfield's about 65, I think. But if you honestly want to know the best concert I've ever been to, I think maybe it would be Iron Maiden. Honestly,
Oh,
So-
you guys are such. Yeah,
Sean,
you still wear your
Sean,
little
what-
black T-shirt everywhere, don't you? Your little black tees from the
No.
80s.
You want to hear my cool Metallica story? They opened for Ozzy back in, we were in junior
Yeah.
high, so it was like 83, 84. They opened for Ozzy. It's when Master of Puppets came out. And so at that time, Ozzy was God. Like Ozzy ruled everything in the world. And so we go and Metallica plays. And I'm telling you, it was like life changing. It was so incredible. The energy was just huge. It was enormous. And it was inside the old Salt Palace. So I had great acoustics and everything. And then Ozzy came on, and I swear to God, we were like, this is nothing. Because my adrenaline was so high. So we left. We actually left during Aussie. And back in those days, we would go back behind the Salt Palace and everybody would skateboard and hang out and do all that stuff back there. And James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett came out. They were only like 17, 18 years old at the time. They came out with their skateboards and was skateboarding with everybody out there.
Did they really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. That's freaking rad. So, and then Ozzy didn't bite any dove's heads at that concert.
I left. I don't know. We were like, this sucks.
Well, hey, Brett,
when he did that, he thought he did that with the bat, and it was he thought it was a prop. Somebody threw it on stage, and he thought it was a prop, and he didn't find out that it was real until he bit the head off, and then everything turns into Ozzy's a devil worshiper. He bit a bat's head off on stage and all the other weirdo stuff. So yeah,
I can always count on Sean to be the professor. Thanks, Sean.
Can you imagine if
you gotta have the correct information
back then?
Hey,
Can you imagine
we have a couple of guests today, don't we, Brent?
Yeah, we do. I mean, just imagine if that social media happened back then, but you've got some friends that kind of
showed up today.
out of the room, don't you?
Yeah. Well, we'd like to introduce two guests today. They're a father and son team, actually, and they just started a new business called Beanstalk Experience. And we'll have them talk a little more about it. But hey, guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good to be here, guys. I actually have to, you open the door for college football, so I just got to put my plug in.
Oh, absolutely. We want to hear your,
Well, I was happy last night. I was only predicting BYU would win a couple games this year, so they far exceeded my expectations thus far. And it has been a little boring, but it's been really great to see them succeed lately. I don't know what happened to the Utes yesterday. I'm a big Ute fan as well, but gosh, they kind of let me down on that one, especially to the Beavers. I was a little disappointed. But the big game I'm looking forward to today is the USC-CU game. I think that could really be a big game. And if I were a betting man, I'd definitely take CU on that and take the 22 points, I think. Definitely.
Brett, call your bookie.
Wow.
Hurry.
Wow.
I think CU's due for this one. I think they got humiliated last week, and I think Colorado's kind of taking it on the chin the last week, just in general with the Broncos and CU. And I think CU is going to show up today. I think that's my prediction, but I could be wrong. Who the heck knows?
SC has no defense, so you might be right. There might be like a 58-56 football game when it's all said and done.
I think you're right. I think it'll be exciting, though. I don't think it's going to be a bad game at all. I think it could be a pretty good game. So
now, Stan Jr., do you watch esports or do you actually watch real football? I just want to make sure your generation's on cue here. We're going to pick on you a little bit.
I do watch football.
Nice.
I do have an idea, though, that we should be making shirts that say "Stop supporting crappy football teams" and selling them to the rival opponents. Because it's just I can't stand BYU or the U, and you could go all different directions. Stop supporting crappy baseball teams, basketball teams, and just.
I like that idea.
Yeah, Kevin, tell them about the time we went to the Ohio State game, and all the shirts and stuff they had made there. That kind of made me think of that.
Yeah, so my dad and I, we travel at least once a year to go to a big football game. We've been to Ohio State, Michigan, Georgia, and we went to Ohio State. And I mean, it's gorgeous up there. I didn't think Ohio would have been that pretty, but really,
it is,
pretty.
Isn't it?
Yeah, super green, just very lively. College town was so fun. But so you're walking through the college campus, and all these frats are selling their stuff to try to make money. You're going through frat row. You see these kids selling T-shirts and koozies and all these other things, and the T-shirts are very explicit about the other team or their rival. And so
it just wasn't about their rival. It was about one team they were talking about in general. They weren't even playing that team.
Michigan.
About Michigan. Yeah, it was horrible.
It was. Excuse me. We were at Michigan, and we saw the shirt that I saw 2 shirts. I bought one of them. It said LeBron hates Ohio with his face crying in the middle of the T-shirt. And then the other one was Buck and Buck the FIs. I'm not going to say the actual word, but it was hilarious. These frats just have no censor.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to Tennessee. I can get you into Neyland Stadium. And you haven't seen football, so you've been at Neyland Stadium.
We're going to take you up on that. That's on my bucket list, definitely.
For sure.
I'm actually going to the Georgia game in November, so I'm excited about that.
That's awesome.
Is that between the hedges this year, or is that at Neyland?
Nope. It's in Neyland.
Oh, yeah. That's gonna be a really good game. I think that's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah. It's going to be lively, and that atmosphere is football in the South. Well, I mean, you're a Georgia fan, so you know what football in the South is like. It's a religion.
Definitely a religion. It's crazy down there. It's really fun though. The excitement. It's cool. It's cool to feel that all that excitement in the stadiums, and it's like I love it better than professional football by far.
Yep, agreed.
Well,
100%.
Well, tell me, Stans, I should say. I'll just say the Stans. Tell me now we're talking about an experience about going to college football game. And I've been on your platform for a month or two. So, and I'm kind of getting that feeling that's what you're trying to create is an experience for people. Tell us a little more. I mean, your father's son. I mean, do you guys get along? I mean, who's in charge? I mean, Stan Jr.'s got the CEO title, but I mean, age before beauty, right? And so as far as wisdom, I mean, tell us a little more about how this all came together. I'd like to hear the story.
Well,
which one wants to?
My thought on that first, Stanley, and then you jump in. But this actually really started right around when social media came on the scene. And at first, everybody thought, oh, this is kind of cool. We get on, we make our profile, we get to connect with friends. And we didn't really know what social media was. It was just kind of a cool thing at the time. But then I started to notice that there were some really bad things that were coming out of social media. We saw that the degradation, we saw like all these bad statistics, self-harm in teenagers, especially teenage girls. We saw suicide rates go up. We saw divorce rates go up. And then you throw COVID in there. Then we saw all this stuff play out right in front of us, the degradation of society. We saw freedom of speech being taken away and all these other freedoms that were being taken away and we're being manipulated right on social media. And at that time during COVID, Stanley and I thought, gosh, there has to be a better way, a positive way where people can showcase the things they're doing in life and not have to have all that other crap that comes with it. And so that was kind of what started Beanstalk. How could we make something that would be positive, that would allow people to experience the great things in life that they like to do, find new things that they like to do, and not have to worry about like, gosh, what are all the other stuff, that negative stuff that comes with social media. And so that's what we set out to do. And it's been a slog. Don't get me wrong. It's been a chore, but holy cow. When we get to this point in the near future of getting to this kind of a platform, and we're getting close to it, I really believe it's going to make a difference in the world. I think that once it catches on and people see what this platform can do, I think it's going to get a lot of traction, and I think it's going to be well accepted because I think that's what the people in the world want. I think they're getting sick and tired of all this other negativity that's happening through social media, the manipulation and everything else. So that was my inspiration behind it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stan Jr.
Yeah, I'll jump in. And to answer your questions, my dad is the boss. He has the official CEO title. He probably thinks that I want to be the boss more days than not, but I don't think I could do what he's doing. And then we do get along about 98% of the time. Obviously, with any father-son relationship or with any relationship, you have those little choke points, but I feel like we're a pretty good team as a whole. And so, yeah, I guess my inspiration behind it is whenever we go on a family vacation, it seems like I'm the one that's always relegated to look for things to do and places to eat that are kind of off the beaten path. And I'm not really relegated to it. I kind of take that responsibility upon myself because I don't want to go to like a Chili's or like a
you want to experience local.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And so,
that's the way to do it.
yeah, 100% you're supporting small. You get to see just how like the locals live. And, I always thought that was really cool. And it's really difficult to find that stuff online because I'm sifting through 100 mom blogs that are talking about this is the best cupcake restaurant to take your daughters and all these other things. And it's not applicable to me.
That's
So-
not a 3 dad bot subject, by the way. Cupcakes. We're not into that.
Well, that came to cupcakes.
There was an incident a couple of years ago with Carl in the cupcake store, and we're banned from
Yeah,
the
we're banned
internet
from
on
the
talking
cupcake store
about it.
now. Yeah.
It's
Well,
not pretty. It had
Sounds
something
like a
to
podcast in and of itself.
Okay,
it
I'm
had
not
something to do
kidding.
with nudity and rolling around in buttercream.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
It's on an image out of my head. Never again.
Oh no.
Hey, Stan Jr., do not put yourself down. That guy was sharp at Vivint. He got out the door faster than I did. I mean, the guy's a pretty sharp kid. So, but Stan Sr., does it help having a Gen Z slash Gen M guy helping you out day to day and navigating the social media? I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I was on TikTok for an hour yesterday trying to figure out how they do everything, and I finally thought, figured it out. And then 10 minutes later, no, I didn't.
First and foremost, it's been a blessing to work with my son. It's been awesome. I couldn't ask for anything better, honestly, and anything better that I would want to be doing in my life, I can't think of one. So it's been great. And he and I working together on something that I really believe can be, that can change the world. And I really honestly believe that. And so having his knowledge and his skill sets, especially the way that he thinks about social media, but more than that, the way that he thinks about life, and bringing those things into this platform and kind of melding them together with our generation, the 80s. We talked about the 80s here. You guys talked a little bit about that, but bringing those generational gap, making that generation gap smaller because we could find that middle ground between both of us has been amazing. And so I think we really are developing something that's going to appeal to the masses, not only the people that are like us, but the people like Stanley, his age and even younger. And so having his skill set and his knowledge and just his experience with social media on how that reacts with the public has been nothing but amazing and has made our platform better and will make it better in the future. And so it's been a blessing. And so, yeah, you're absolutely right, Carl. Excited about where we're going, but it's been amazing to see him step up to the plate and bring his knowledge and skill set to the table.
So
Now, it's not just
Oh,
go ahead, Brad. Sorry.
I was going to say, speaking of the future, so like you're kind of in beginning stages now, but where do you guys see yourselves like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? What's the initial vision that you guys got going on?
I think that future is really exciting for me to think about where we'll be 5 years from now. So we've been in this thing for about 3 years now, and we're still several years away from having our product to where our full vision wants to take it. And so where we want to be 5 years from now is to create a platform that actually is all about positivity, a platform that would actually give control of a user's data back to them, where they'll be able to view, manage, and monetize that data so we can stop the manipulation and of what's happening on social media and data manipulation by the big tech and companies out there. And so there's a lot of great things we want to do and a lot of great where we really want to go with this thing. But obviously we need velocity of users. And so as we continue to build this platform and listen to what the users are saying to us and then rebuild it and then present it again to the public and continue to rebuild and make it better, make it the very best platform that we can that appeals to the masses, I believe we'll be able to accomplish all the things that we're setting out to do, which is to give control of data back to the individual and to create a platform that's all about positivity to everybody, a place where that can be safe, where people can where they can enjoy their experiences that they're doing, share them, and be able to allow other people to partake in those experiences as well in a very safe environment. So that's where I'd like to go.
Dad,
if I can jump in real quick too, just to add on to that, building probably the biggest platform for experiences on the planet would be up there for me. Like a platform that not only has the experiences, but that curates them for each individual based off of who they are, what their interests are. And it's not just going to feed you a whole bunch of stuff that's not relevant to you, like cupcake stores and all that other stuff. It's going to have hundreds of thousands of experiences that cater to not only the travel and all that stuff, but the local backyard type stuff, like what's in Lehigh, Utah, or what's in San Diego, California, or even Paducah, Kentucky. Like what's there to do this weekend?
Well, you're hitting something that I want to hear really what the difference is between you and, let's say, Instagram and TikTok. What are you bringing to me, the consumer of social media? That's the big difference. Tell me, I mean, is this a Yelp? Is this like an experience review site? Either one of you, tell me what's the big difference? What sets you apart from everybody else?
Yeah, I'll take this if that's okay, Dad. So what we are, I think one of the best ways we can put it and how we've heard it from others is that we're a Instagram meets Pinterest meets Yelp. So it's kind of a combination of all three. We're taking a lot of the best aspects. With Instagram, you have people just posting whatever they want. And oftentimes on social media, people are posting literally the best moments of their year and not really like anything else other than those top highlight moments. And so it creates these false expectations on, oh, I need to compare with my friends or compare with these celebrities or these influencers. And you're not seeing this authenticity. And then also on Instagram, you have bloggers that are posting about restaurants and experiences, but there's no easy way to find those experiences, those restaurants. You have to go digging. And so what we're doing is allowing people to post experiences like the restaurants, even the hikes they take, the bike rides they take, the football games they go to, and share them with others and invite others to put those on a list or to save them or to do them and review them. And so it's essentially you posting your authentic self about what you're doing. It's a platform to help you find things to do and find new hobbies, and then also to review them so others can find those things that you've done. So that's where we're different.
So it's almost like you guys are moving away from opinions, like political opinions, social environment opinions, and you're more into like experiences and moments, and putting the controversial things that bite at everybody's necks out, and like, hey, this is what I'm doing today. This is a pretty good life. I'm out. These are my trees that are right here. This is the food that I'm eating. This is the football game that I'm at, instead of, well, I hate this and I hate that and this is bad and this is bad. That negativity that piles and piles and piles, and that's kind of what's become the social media climate today.
Yeah, that's a great way to say it, Brent. I mean, honestly, I think that we've taken all the great things about social media. I was on Facebook the other day and I was watching all these people that were at the BYU football game or a restaurant that they ate at. And the great things that we really like about social media, I got on that and I was seeing all these things. Well, Beanstalk is foundationally doing the same thing, but allowing people a reason to do it now and an organized way to do it. And so, and kind of getting rid of all the other negativity that comes along with social media. So more concentrating on the experiences of life and giving people a reason and a value in the social media rather than just throwing up on social media. So I wouldn't say we're a number one social media company. I would say we're a life experience platform, a platform that allows people to showcase their experiences, the things they're doing in life, to build a community around those similarities that they have with other people, or to find new communities of things that they want to do, and all based around the experiences they're doing in life. So yeah, absolutely
And
right.
to add on to that, we're just trying to help people. We're trying to show them that they have value, that every single individual has value. You don't have to have the 6-pack or travel all over the world. You can be extremely valuable as an individual because you're good at taking care of a certain breed of dog, or because you're good at baking cookies or
I
other
love
things
that.
like that.
good.
So can I, one thing that I heard you say is, you talked a little bit about, um, the, some of the problems that we've had, with, quieting people down if they have a certain opinion about something, censorship. I'm maybe a little overly sensitive about censorship, but, when you talk about, allowing people to have a good positive environment within the social media or the experience platform, how do you uh, how do you reconcile the two? Because they could be opposing forces.
It's actually a really great question. It's something we thought a lot about as we set out to build this platform. But because our platform is built around experiences of an individual's life, it's about the things that they're doing. It's about that's what it's all catered towards. Is the platform is catered towards about the experiences that a person's doing in life, the things that they can find, the things they like to do, and then sharing it in an organized way. That's the whole premise of the platform. So yeah, someone could get on there and put like what they believe about the politics of the world, but it really would be out of place on our platform because it really isn't made for that. Our platform isn't made for those type of things that we see on traditional social media. It's strictly made for sharing experiences, finding new experiences, and going out and living our best life better. And hopefully we get the community that will support that, that is supporting people in the great things that they're doing. We see it on social media now. Will we get rid of the trolls? Probably not. We'll still have people that will make fun of people as far as like, hey, why are you running that? You look overweight, whatever. I'm sure that will happen. But, ultimately that's going to happen no matter what happens in life. But I think that setting the precedents early on what our platform is really going to make a difference on how people will perceive it.
Well,
So
one thing for clarification. So, okay, go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
I was just going to say, so what I'm hearing is you're kind of expecting that there will still be people that behave badly, but you're not going to censor them.
I'll take this one, Dad, if you want. Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to censor, obviously, the explicit stuff that you like don't want to see, like the pornography and all that other stuff, and the violence and the gore. But as far as
sorry, I'm out the door. Please.
That's the only thing that Brent knows anything about.
Gore. He's got a problem with that. Yeah. He was so sad when Utah announced the fact that they would deny porn in Utah. He was like, I have to move. That's why he went to Tennessee.
He preempted it. He anticipated it and then moved 7 years ahead of the announcement.
Guys, I'm the reason why that ban was put in place. Yeah, they'll never. They kicked me out of Utah, sent me to Nashville.
Yeah. Thank goodness. It's been a lot better experience since.
No, I feel a little safer.
Well, I was going to ask you guys. So I was sitting there listening to Stan Jr. talk about how to put our life's experience together in an organized way. And most social media experience I've experienced is you'll go on a trip to Hawaii. You'll post like in Instagram, you just post 8 or 9 pictures together with one caption saying, woo, had fun. So based on what you're saying, Stan Jr., if I went to Hawaii and I had, let's say I hit the beach, then I went shopping, had this great picture with my family, sunset, Hanalei Bay, watched the sunrise the next morning, and then my plane ride home. I wanted to put those all, usually I'd just share like an idiot on Facebook or Instagram with no context. With this, I can create like a story. Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, and to back it up even a little bit further, hopefully you'd use Beanstalk to find the lunch that you had and to go watch the sunset and to go to the new shopping places that opened up. And so you'll use it as a utility app to find those things. And then you can post about your experience at each restaurant. You can post.
And I can interact with those other Beanstalk users that are, okay. Like the
Exactly.
businesses?
There's
Okay.
a high community element to Beanstalk. We're not setting our sites out to replace Instagram or Facebook or these apps. They have their place in the world just like we do. Uh, the biggest difference is we're just trying to create a way for you to find communities and find things to do. And so
Mhm.
you can go to this restaurant, you can go watch the sunset and share your experience about it. By sharing that experience, those places, those things are saved in categories. So that algorithm will change a little bit. It'll now know you like certain types of food, like a Japanese restaurant you went to, and it's going to start catering more content to you unless you tell it no. And it's also going to put your content into those categories so other users can find it. So if there are similar people that like Japanese food, they can see your review, they can see your experiences that you've done. And now you have a more organic way to connect with communities.
It's
Okay.
that's why I use Waze over Google Maps sometimes, because that's a community of things like, hey, there's a car that's broke down here. And you're like, yep, that car's still there. And yep, that car's still there. And yep, we kind of help each other along the way. Or I use other things ahead. Um, I like that idea where you kind of all feed up. Hey, you know what? That was a great place. Thank you. And here's my images and my shots and my video and stuff like that, all tied into Joe's sandwich shop that's down there with everybody kind of feeding into it. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Brett, and if I could just say something, so I'm a big college football fan, and I know you say you're going to Neyland Stadium. Well, I've never been there. So when you go there and you were to post on Beanstalk about your experience that you had at Neyland Stadium, now I'm able to interact with that content and say, man, I want to do this. This was great. Yeah, you can show me the type of food to eat there. You can show me the chants that you're doing. I can see the live video, and it actually might really entice me to want to get there sooner. And so that's kind of the concept behind it, was to allow you to share this awesome experience and then give me the opportunity to say, yeah, I want to do that too.
Sure.
Much of what we see on social media anyways, the good stuff we see on social media.
Now, when I'm uploading my stuff, like a video and stuff, is there a capacity or a time limit or a clip limit, or can you upload, like if it was like a 5-minute video, you could upload that? If it's a 10-minute, would you be able to upload that? If it's a 2-minute clip, would you be able to upload that?
You want to take that,
this if you
Sam?
want? Yeah. So building an app, is one of the most difficult things that we've ever done. And we just kind of had our eyes not fully wide open when we were doing this. And so as of right now, there is a time limit. There are some constraints on our content creator, but we're working towards having that ability to upload long form content, like 10 or 20-minute videos. And so you just have to stay posted on Beanstalk for updates to be able to do that. But as of right now, you can do, I believe it's about a minute video, and you can do up to 10 photos. So we think that will be like sufficient for most of the content. But yeah. Cool.
And Brent, we have plans within the year to be able to expand that. So we just have to build upon a foundation and continue to make it better. And so, yeah, it's plans, and that will happen within the year to be able to have more long-term content on our platform as well.
Now, as a small business owner, I'm looking at what you're talking about. Let's say I own the donut shop or the cupcake shop. I see this podcast or I hear about Beanstalk. How do I plug in? I mean, how? And as far as your business model too, you don't need to get into too much detail, of course. But I mean, how are you going to make money off this, and how are you going to be relevant in around 15 years from now, and compete and not sell out to Facebook like everybody does? Maybe you want to, but I'm just kidding. If you do, if that's your goal, that's great. But I'm just saying, how do you guys keep control of this whole concept and integrate the corporate world into it without breaking it?
It looks like we lost Stanley, so I'll go ahead and answer that question. In order for us to make money on this platform, we need velocity of users. We need people to actually get on and use it. So we're kind of right now at the point where we're building it and making it most appealing to people. And as we make it the greatest platform that we can possibly make it, we believe we'll have that product that will allow people to get on and interact on a daily basis or a monthly basis or however often they want to come in. So we'll have the base that will then make it appealing for businesses to want to get on there and interact with their business, not only organically for free, but it be able to sponsor categories that they deal in. But they also will be able to boost posts. They'll be able to open a marketplace within the app itself, and other things like that. And so our first push is just to build a great platform, because if we believe that if we build a great platform that not only individuals like you and I can get on, but businesses can get on, that the rest will come later. We do have those business models in place, but we first realize that we need to have a great platform in order to make it so that we can monetize it. Be Real, for example, they were valued at $360 million. And they don't even have one monetization model in place. And so they just have a bunch of users. And so their plan is to figure out how they're going to monetize this. And if you look at all the big tech companies, even starting off with Facebook, they built it, the users came, and then they figured out how to monetize it. And even their strategies, and I'm not going to take a swipe at them here, but some of their strategies were based upon typical marketing manipulation tactics. And,
they were afterthoughts.
They were afterthoughts. Ours was built in mind from the very beginning with monetization models that would allow an organic type of transaction to take place without the manipulation. Because if I want to go to a football game because I've seen Brent post this thing at Neyland Stadium, now all of a sudden organically I can start seeing Dick's Sporting Goods start advertising to me Tennessee gear or other stuff like that, because it's stuff that I like to do and it's what I want to do. And so that's the model that we built.
So in the monetization, sorry, Dan, in the monetization question, if I may ask, are you going to allow people to monetize their content as a way to attract people the way that YouTube does? And also, how do you sign up on this? Is there an app for it?
You take that, Stanley?
Yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely. We want to encourage everyone to have that ability to become their own influencer. We're trying to break the mold of what an influencer is. It has a lot of negative stigma behind it. And so we want to break that, where you can be an influencer in going to college football games. You can be an influencer in watching Netflix and making your recommendations every month, or taking care of a dog or baking pastries, whatever that may be. We want to be able to provide value to people, not only from like an emotional standpoint, but from a monetary standpoint as well. And so, yeah, that's absolutely our goal. And what was the second question, Sean? Sorry.
Can you find it on the App Store?
Does a person get involved? Yeah. Is it in the App Store? How do you get on? Yeah, are you limiting the number of people that you're allowing on the platform at the moment, or is it something that anybody can get on? Is it in a beta stage? Sorry, that's a lot of questions.
No. Perfect question. So we just hit our MVP, our minimum viable product, about 2 weeks ago, with some changes, and some other big changes are coming, but anyone can download the app. It's on both Apple and Google Play Store. And I guess let me make a clarification. Anyone in the United States can right now. We don't have the policies or anything written out yet for Canada or for England or for Asia or anything like that. So anyone in the United States can download the app. We're not limiting anyone. You can get on it. The sign up process is pretty simple and straightforward. It's your email, put a username, create a password. You can put in a picture and all that stuff. So pretty straightforward. And yeah, we're just cruising on the app stores right now. And so go check us out. It's free.
Hey, Sean or Brent, did you guys download the app yet? Or when do you guys need to do it right now and have them walk you through it?
Thanks for driving that bus right over my back, Carl.
I figured they hadn't. I mean, they're my dad bod co-hosts, so they always give me a hard time for not listening, but they never follow up on my emails.
I'm going to go look for it right now.
Well, show us how Let's see
Well, hold on, though.
how
Hold on,
easy it
hold on,
is.
hold on,
I mean,
hold
Brent,
on.
you're good at this stuff, right?
So, well, so my thing is, and probably like Stan Senior's kind of coming from, like, I'm really picky about what I choose as my outlets and stuff. One, because I don't have a lot of like I don't. Carl mentioned TikTok earlier. I'm blind to the world about TikTok. I don't do anything on TikTok. I don't have a TikTok. That's foreign to me. That's a new thing that came in, and I don't want to learn that. I was, from the old MySpace days, and I would probably still be on MySpace if anybody else was still on there. But so when Facebook came along, and like you guys mentioned in the beginning, it was a thing of positivity. People were taking pictures of their food, and then, God, probably about 2012, maybe
Cats and dogs.
2008. Yeah, the political crap started getting into it, and you try and shift your way out of that. So my whole use of Facebook has always been to make people laugh. That's the only reason why I'm on Facebook. Maybe to stir the pot every now and then. I'll admit to
Oh
that.
yeah,
But
you love doing that. Don't lie.
but for the most part, I'll post a funny post every day to try and make people laugh and take their mind off of things. So there's Instagram. I don't really get into that. That's too much for me. There's Twitter. Twitter is just noise all over the place that I don't even know what is all this stuff. So after listening to you guys, it is more along my lines of appeal. And I'm not just saying that 'cause I got you guys on here, but that's what I wanted inside of Facebook, was all that crap and the noise and everything, and just my buds, Carl, Sean, myself, just talking about what we did in the past, sharing some memories from the past. Hey guys, here I am at Neal Stadium, or here I am in Sanford Stadium enjoying the game. That's the stuff that I want, and I know I'm a little different demographic than a lot of areas. My kids may want something different, but that's the kind of stuff that I look for, is because we had an episode a few weeks ago where we talked about if the news would stop doing negative stories, murder, rape, robbery, for a month, and only focused on positive stories, how much that would change the world. It would be an incredible change. And that it's kind of sounds like, from hearing you guys, that's what you guys had in mind. Let's get rid of all this crap. Let's really focus on making this world a beautiful place. Let's show people that we're not doom and gloom, and there's not a bunch of homes burning in every single block that's going on, and that there's a lot of positivity, and let's share that.
Well, I was thinking that Brent, you were sending Sean and I like 5 or 6 clips from your experience at the football game. And I was just thinking, when Stan Jr. was talking about putting this together in a more organized format, then being able to share it with all your friends. Now that would be cool. Cause I don't feel like that is possible right now on a Facebook, or, cause I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you post once and then you disappear into the morass of various posts, where you'll always have those. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Stan Jr. So if I put together something like this, it stays with my profile, and then I can periodically pull it back up and then go through it. And it's easier and more navigatable than trying to go back. I mean, have you ever tried to go back in your Facebook like a month or two if you post a lot? It's like, takes an hour.
Yeah.
So
And, I don't know about you guys, but on my Facebook, I have about 5 people, and those are the only people I really see on my feed because they post so much. And it's really the people
Yeah.
I don't want to see. It's like family and aunts that I don't really talk to a whole lot of, and they're posting all these things, and I'm not seeing the content that's relevant to me. I'm not seeing the stuff that I like.
you better be careful. Stan Senior's listening, and Thanksgiving's coming, Junior.
Well, we're still
Well,
home
one of
this
the
year,
things
so
that I
we
was
saved
going to
this
ask
year,
you
so.
was if you're able to.
Go ahead,
Go
Sean.
ahead, Sean.
I was just going to ask, is there a way for you to prioritize your own interests? I realize you're going to have analytics that are going to do it, but can you prioritize your own interest over the analytics?
It's
You want
kind
me
of
to take
cool.
that, Dan?
That's it. Um, You go ahead. I'll give my little 2 cents, and then you say what you think. But I think the cool thing about it, Sean, is we're getting to the point where you're going to be able to emphasize the things that you like to do in life, and based off of that, those things that you're emphasizing, you basically, in a sense, will create your own algorithm of things that you're seeing. And so, yes, the answer is absolutely. You'll be able to emphasize the things that you like to do without manipulation from us, and be able to be fed the experiences that you want to see. And so you'll be able to minimize all the other outside chatter that you don't want to see, but be able to emphasize the things that you really do want to see on different multiple feeds. So you'll be able to filter your feed based off of those type of things. Stanley, go ahead. Sorry.
That sounds
That's a
pretty
great-
cool.
No, I was just going to say one of our longer term goals that my dad touched on just briefly was we're working to give users the ability to clearly view the data that's being collected on them, and then be able to manage that data, manage the algorithms that are being fed to them. So we can collect data on them, build this profile of what we think they are, what they like, all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, we want to give that power back to you guys and back to the users and say, okay, let's eliminate anything that has to do with politics, and let's eliminate anything that has to do with a certain belief system or religion or fast food if you're trying to be healthier. And so you'll have that ability to kind of modify what you're looking at in those feeds and what content is being pushed towards you. But that's a longer term goal that we're going to get to within the next year or two.
So if I don't want to see any University of Utah football feed, I can eliminate that completely. Is that what you're saying? I love
If
it.
you like to be entertained, then you can do that.
Why would you want to live in a world of ignorance, Carl? It's just so different to me.
So good.
Hey, so I'm looking at the App Store, and there's quite a few Beanstalk apps on there. Is yours the Beanstalk Find Things to Do?
Yes. And it's
Okay.
green with a white bee with some leaves on it.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna download it.
As you were talking about some of the stuff you're talking about, Stan, a question kind of popped in my mind, and a lot of people my age we're always hesitant about this, even though it's everywhere around us. But are my likes and I guess community things that are put towards me on Beanstalk, are they geared only from the app itself? Or if I'm talking to a buddy of mine and my phone hears me say the word street shoot boots with goldfish in the heels, am I going to get inundated with a bunch of ads with a bunch of street shoot boots with goldfish in the heels coming
Well,
at me?
I hope you don't get those.
That's the layman's way of asking, do you use cookies to track people's information and then use that to manipulate the algorithms?
So the great thing about it, guys, is that data is everything, right? And it's a bigger business than the oil business in the world, believe it or not. There's more revenue created by data exchange than oil. That's
I
kind of crazy,
understand.
right? So if you break that down really and you think about what data is ourself, right? It's who we are. It makes us who we are. If we got pure authentic data, it's what makes Brent who he is. It tells us that he's a Tennessee fan. It tells us the kind of food that he likes. It tells us how he interacts with his family. And so, yes, our main goal in Beanstalk is to make your data as authentic as possible. Bring it to you as authentic as possible, not without manipulation, allowing you to live your best life better and enhancing it by giving you the data that you want at the very moment that you want it, rather than all the chatter of like, oh, we're just assuming that you want this. So, or we heard this word and now we're going to start sending you wedding venues because my wife was talking about their niece's wedding. And so, yeah, I think that will
Right.
not only make your life better, but also actually really allows the advertisers that advertise on Beanstalk to really nail down their advertising and pinpoint exactly to the people that are looking for their services, rather than just throwing it out there into the universe and hoping that something sticks, which is one of the crux that a lot of the businesses have, is that they can never feel like they can hit home on social media marketing because of all, number one, the fake users and how they sell the data broadly to these businesses.
And to add on to that real quick, to answer the question, Sean, as of right now, we aren't using any third-party cookies or cookies to track outside app activities. It's purely internally on the app, but that's not to say in the future we won't have that capability. With the stipend, that you'll have clear access to see where data is coming from. We're not going to be pulling a sheet over your eyes and saying, look, we think you want these boots with goldfish in them, or we think you want this wheelchair because you talked about it one time. It's going to be very clear and very transparent about your data. And so you won't feel like you're getting tracked or like you're getting stalked online or anything like that. It's going to be a very mutually beneficial relationship for both you as a user and us as a company.
Now, as a small business, the ecosystem or the culture of your experience. I mean, you talk about stories, and Brent brought that up, and he does a good job. Brent's always good at telling stories. I don't know how many are true or not, but
very
as
few.
a bit,
That's why I'm good at it.
exactly. As a business, though, that kind of brought some ideas to my mind to work better with your audience. That business, that would be a good important thing, is to build up their presence on your site as an experience generator, or talk about like a podcast. It'd be good for us to share if we're going to share clips about experiences or stories. Is that kind of where this is going? If you're a business, do you want to connect?
I think absolutely. I think that you guys could absolutely use our platform as a way that you could, number one, not only sponsor your podcast, but about the great things that you guys talk about in your podcast. And people will find value in that, especially a dad bod like me, who wants to connect with people that have similar thinking as far as like a dad goes, and kind of an older dad or a middle-aged dad. The things that we're doing, the things we're experiencing, I think is a really perfect platform for someone like you or someone like Stanley, who's just about ready to get married, who's going off and having these great experiences early in life. So it gives a platform for all these businesses or these influencers to deal in.
And Dad, just to add some more onto that, we have a couple businesses like Tuacahn Amphitheater already on our platform, and we're a registered travel agent. We also have a few other tour and travel companies and other small time businesses, and 100% a great platform to tell a story in a way that invites users to engage with them.
Oh my God. So, all right. So this brings a question for me, and I'm glad you brought that up. All right. So let's say my wife wants to be crazy and spend 2 whole weeks with me, and we want to go.
That would be crazy.
Like we want to find a cruise. So then, are we able to like search keywords and say like cruises to Mexico or cruises to South America, and then see? Or does it work like that, or how does something like that work if we want to find something out there?
It's really a great question. And yeah, Beanstalk allows you the ability every day. There are tens of hundreds of tours that are being uploaded onto our platform as we speak, and guaranteed at even the lowest prices. So if you are looking for a cruise and we happen to know that you're going on vacation because that's the kind of experience you're looking for, you will be fed content that will allow you to actually book that tour at the very lowest possible price right on Beanstalk. Figure out the days you want to go, be able to use the res tech to be able to see the different pricing that's available, and book it right through Beanstalk. And so we absolutely have that technology, and that's with a lot of other experiences as well. So if you wanted to go to a restaurant and you needed to make a reservation, and that you were into that particular type of food or restaurant, and you saw that content curated to you, you would be able to go choose that experience, reserve a table, or even order the food right there and have it ready for you when you go in. So that's where we're at the infancy stages of providing this type of service on Beanstalk, which is pretty cool. Kind of a one-stop shop. And then
That's
as
awesome.
you go there, you're able to make a review of it. So now you're on this cruise and you've gone through it. You put your pictures on there. You make cruise was, and now other people are able to partake in that experience that you did and decide whether they want to do it based off of your experience and the review that you made.
That is awesome.
That is pretty cool.
So I just downloaded the app, and I was able to sign in real quick. It was easy. Now it's asking me some of my interests, and I've got a page of tiles, it looks like, on the Explore section of things to choose from, things that are interesting to me. And I've got an opportunity to look at different communities and change my profile. So far, it looks like a really simple experience.
Yeah, we're kind of prideful in the fact that it's a no frills app. It should be easy for everyone to use and to find things to do. I mean, and on the surface, it may be no frills, but we've got a lot of great complex things. Like if you want to find underwater welding or basket weaving or whatever type of things, there's a good chance we probably have at least one thing that relates to that. And so, we're trying to make it easy to use, but also have that complexity so anyone can find what they like to do.
And do you have I haven't seen on here, but is there a share feature where you can share the app to another, not share the app, but share, hey, you should download this app to
Not yet.
other friends?
That is coming in this next update. It's been something we've been waiting for a while. It's going to be both on Facebook. You'll be able to share on Facebook, on a link to a text and all these other things. So right now you can only share internally through the messaging system on the app.
But we'd love to get that out to all our groupies, man. So
And that's
get that
been
out
done-
there. Is that this week, you said?
That will be sometime. in the
Sorry,
next
Stan.
week.
That should be coming in the next few weeks.
Okay.
And-
All right.
And that was done internally.
It's
a lot,
incredible,
guys.
like all the things when you're putting things together. Go ahead, Stan.
Oh, no, you go ahead. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, sorry. No, I was going to say it's amazing. Like as you're putting these things together, like I'm sure there's been a whole bunch of things that were like, we didn't put that. Oh, we got to put this in. We got to move that. Yeah, like a stupid story, but like I've coached basketball for years, and I remember the first team that I coached, and I coached them all these plays, doing all these pick and roll and plays set up and man-to-man plays set up. And then when we got to the game, I realized we haven't created an out of bounds play. You know,
Exactly.
the little things that kind of like, oh man, we've got to put that the simple little bits and pieces that tie all the knots together and stuff like that.
Yeah, tell us about some of your obstacles. What's your biggest challenge doing this? I mean, tell us a few stories. We'd like to hear those.
I think that I think Brent hit it right on the head. I mean, we started this thing, like Stanley said, we didn't have our eyes wide open. We weren't traditionally tech people. We dealt in tech, but not really traditionally tech people. So as we got into this, we really realized, wow, what did we get into? What did we get involved with? And so we initially we hired the wrong person. We hired one of the first programmers at MySpace, Brent talking about MySpace, but we hired one of the first programmers at MySpace, helped develop MySpace. Well, that was going the wrong direction. And we realized real quick that when MySpace came out, there were no apps. It was just a web-based platform. And this guy all he had was experience in web-based type platforms and not really apps. And so we had to really course correct quickly. And we lost, 6-7 months, Stanley, in that, right? And that going down that process of building it with the wrong technology platform. And so we went and found some hot shots, and they started to build this platform. And having said this, what you saw there, Sean, is probably about 150 iterations later, literally, of where we've been.
Wow.
And where we'll be 5 years from now will probably be 10,000 or over 1,000 iterations, and probably where we'll be 30 years from now, it will never look the same as it is now. And so in order to make the very best platform in this tech world, it's constantly listening and seeing what people are wanting and desiring in a platform and making those changes. And that's how we believe we'll make the very best platform. Are we the greatest and have all the whistles and bells like a Facebook and Instagram right now? Absolutely not. But will we rival them one day with things that we're doing? Absolutely, we will. And I know that to be the case. No, we don't want the way that they do it. We just
Go ahead.
Yeah, totally makes
I just say
sense.
we don't want the way that
We want
they
the
do
market
it.
share.
We want the we just
Exactly.
want the way that things can be done. The technology behind it is what we would want.
So do you have,
Right.
here's
totally makes
the technology guy in me coming out. Are you going to be scheduling updates, or is it just going to be, hey, when we're ready, we're going to do .3 and .4, and or is it going to be every other week on Tuesdays it's going to update, kind of a thing?
Yeah, I'll take this one if that's okay, Dad. I meet with our developers at least once a week, and we kind of have a rhythm going where it's about one to two updates every month, and it's normally about on a Wednesday or a Friday, and so you should see some pretty consistent updates happening monthly, and we'll fill you guys in. We have a little thing where we can put it in the box on what's new with the app, all that stuff. So yeah, it's pretty consistent. The best way to survive in the app industry is to keep swimming. If a fish stops swimming, they die. It's the same thing with apps. If you stop developing, if you stop updating, you're going to get left behind very quickly.
Yeah.
What's
next? I
will say this about quality. Your guys' pictures pop. I mean, I have not seen, what are you guys doing? What's your special sauce on those pictures? Because I mean, secret sauce. Secret sauce. Shut up, Brett. We keep it PG. Okay. But what's
That was you,
secret
buddy.
sauce? I know, it was all me. Anyway,
I'll say one thing about that, and then Stanley will get into it but Stanley's really emphasized a lot of the creative side of this, as well as like the back end stuff, the more technical stuff as well, how this stuff should interact. But his emphasis has really been on like, hey, let's make this really appealing to people. Let's make these pictures as great as possible. Let's make it so that creatively it looks really good. And if we do that, Dad, the people will come and they'll enjoy this and they'll overlook some of the other things that we don't have because they'll see that we're going in a direction that's really of quality. And so we've tried to do things the best quality that we possibly can, knowing that we're not there yet, but knowing that that's where we're going to get in the future. But with what we've had available, the resources and the limits that we've had available to us, we've tried to make it the very best that we possibly can.
I'm not classically trained at all in any type of creativity or anything. I have a finance degree, and I've just always liked art. I've liked creativity, all that stuff. And so the app and where its standpoint is right now is a huge team effort. I've taken it about as far as I can with like my skills and my knowledge on creation and design, but we've had a great group of people, not only within our own internal team, but even external people, friends, family, even random strangers that have helped us get to where we are now. And it's continued to be that way. And so we're extremely open to ideas, to thoughts, to concepts that other people have. And we don't want people to feel like they're constrained on this app. So that goes to you guys and to anyone listening to this podcast. If you guys download Beanstalk, find some things that you think may be better. We're open ears to hearing about your critiques and your review and your design concepts that you may have, because we want this to be a platform for everyone and to make it as appealing as possible.
love it.
Yeah, both of our listeners will appreciate that. They really will.
Sean, you had a question, and then I was going to ask a question on creation.
So one of the things that I see on here that I immediately like is there's something that says, see what's happening today. So if you're using the geographic capabilities of the device you're on, it knows that I'm in Phoenix, Arizona versus Brent being in Nashville. So it looks like it's going to come up with, or it's going to keep track of different things that are happening in the area. So where do you pull that information from? That's a great feature, by the way, because I think we can all say that we've had the experience of not knowing what to do. What should we do today? Oh, well,
Let's give them what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take this, Stanley, and I know you have some thoughts on it as well. That is a great feature of what is there to do today. that actually answers the number one question that is asked by most people on Google. And that's what we set out to do, was to set out that number, to give the answer to that question. Where that content comes from is number one, the user, the people that are on it. They go and experience a play, or they're going to a play, or they're going to a festival, or they're going to some kind of event, that they're going to a concert or a football game. They could go ahead and put that experience right in there. And now it becomes part of the community's experience on what is there to do today. In addition to that, we have a group of people that basically go in and just basically look for the popular things that are out there in the world. The Beanstalk team, basically, that goes and looks for the popular things that are happening, and it constantly gets put in as well. So we constantly are internally curating content, but we're hoping that as we get velocity of users, we get more users on board, that they're going to share those great experiences, and now they'll become part of the community as well. And so that's what we're hoping for, and that's what we believe will happen once we get this thing out there more to the public.
So some of the more obscure things that are out there that people might not know a lot about, that would probably come through people that are going to start talking about it. So, for instance, if I want to go to the Ostrich Festival that is in Chandler next week, I can put that up there and say, hey, this is something we're planning on doing. Let's meet as a group or whatever. And then that will become part of the local algorithm.
That's exactly right. Part of the local algorithm. And then on top of that, businesses would be able to do the same thing, right? So if somebody has a live music band that's coming to their restaurant on a certain day, a restaurant can get in there and put that this band is coming to their restaurant on that day. And now that becomes part of the algorithm. So somebody that's interested in that type of music will be able to see that on the feed. But also the calendar, what's near you, that tile is getting revamped and will be done here in the next couple of weeks, where we'll actually start to curate content based off of the things that you like to do, and based off of your friends and other things like that.
That's cool. That's really, I think that's going to be great. And so one of the things that are near and dear to my heart is the local boxer rescue for dogs. So if I got the Boxer Rescue Club to jump on there and start posting things, that would be part of the local algorithm, and it would get out that there's an adoption event in a couple of weeks or something like that too.
100% correct. And that's what we were hoping to provide, is those opportunities to the companies just like that, and the people that have interest in even those things like that, because we want people to find value in everything that they're doing in life, not just the big vacations they're going on or the other things like that. And the great things that we often miss.
And
Nice.
this kind of goes along with the question I was going to ask. As a creator, either a business or I'm just using the app, like Sean was talking about, I want to create a boxer adoption group. The one thing that frustrates me sometimes with other companies' products like Instagram, I can't post my link. I only can post a profile link to our 3dadbot site. But if I had an episode that I wanted to, or a video specifically with a link back to where this event is, let's say I had a Boxer Foundation donation site where I was trying to get money, and I wanted that to be able to direct people to that through Beanstalk. Like Facebook and Instagram or TikTok, they won't let you do some of those things, and I'm not sure why they don't. But are those the type of things, Stan Jr., you were talking about? Like, I talked to you about that specifically the other day, and you were like, yeah, we're working on that, which I thought was awesome. But is that part of the whole idea, is to make that experience so much easier for the creators?
It is. And I think I can answer your question on why Instagram and Facebook don't allow that. We've run into similar issues, and we've had discussions about this and all this. And so we're allowing verified individuals and businesses to put links on every experience or list that they have. The reason why we don't open it up to just everyone in the public is we don't want an easy faucet for bad content, bad links to be linked. And I mean, kids can be on this app. Anyone over 13 can be on this app. And so we don't want to have that easy channel for potentially harmful stuff or illegal stuff or anything like that. And so any
Like
verified
trolls.
individual, yeah,
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So your verification process would be clearly spelled out for a creator. They could go through that process, however long it takes or what it's involved, and then be verified, then be able to use those tools then. Is that correct?
yes. And we differ a little from the other guys. We have a way for you to be verified just as an individual if you don't want to be an influencer. And that's segueing into the ability to monetize from certain content and other things like that and build your way into an actual brand or an influencer. And so it does open up more options in the app. And then we do also have like the typical blue check mark that you see on other platforms for businesses and known individuals and all that stuff. So yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Thanks.
Guys, I dozed off there thinking about how good I look at that ostrich festival walking around with my platform base with goldfish in the hills. So I kind of vanished there for a bit. But hey, guys, thank you guys for being on, man. I mean, what a great lifestyle that you guys have and are putting out there. And any of our listeners, I encourage you guys to upload it. When I finish up here, I'm going to create my own account and get going on there. And I can't say thanks enough, guys, for being on our podcast with us.
And we'll have instructions on how on our Facebook group page, and at the end of this video, throughout the video, there'll be some graphics on how to be involved with Beanstalk, because I think you guys have something here, and we'd love to support you. So shout you guys out.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. And thank you guys. Honestly, this platform is great for us. And we are grateful for anybody that wants to listen to what we're doing. Are we there yet? No, but we will get there. And we'll get there in part by people like yourself who give us this platform to kind of tell the public about our ideas. And so thank you. And from one dad bod to the other, I appreciate you guys. So thank you.
You guys are awesome. We love you guys.
Thanks for listening to 3 Dad Bods, and make sure to catch their past episodes on Spotify, Apple, and Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. And make sure and leave a comment to help stroke their fragile egos.